Welcome to another edition of the RPO College Football Podcast, your favorite podcast. And I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend. My name is Ron Jones, by the way. I almost forgot my own name. But I'm so excited to talk to my guy, the man, the myth, the legend. You already know who he is, Mr. Ray Roberts. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
Doing great, man. We had some great football the entire weekend. NFL, college. I thought it was a great weekend, man. Overall, how you felt about this weekend, man?
The weekend was a lot of very good games. Of course, I didn't get the right result in one that I wanted, but I can't get them all. So
Definitely, man, definitely. And we're gonna get right into it because I want to talk about these great games. There's a lot of good games. I don't want to stall too much because we got a lot to talk about. So let's get right into this. Let's talk about the biggest college football score of this weekend. And it was a huge win for his team. 70-20, the Miami Dolphins versus the because that looked like a college football score. It's like, no way.
I had a guy to compare it like this on a podcast I heard. It was like, how when you first start playing Madden and like you try to get the upper hand on your brother because you've been playing for like a month and he just learns and you just pile up the score. He just reminded me of that.
Yeah, 100%. And you guys literally had the opportunity to get the record, and your coach pulled it off. For why? Why? Just get the record, man. Just get it. Like, who cares? At that point, you put 70 on somebody. Who cares at that point? Just get your record. Just go with it. Whatever. It's like a 40-year record. It's insane. Actually, no, I think it's longer than that. 60.
Yeah, it's from a long time ago.
It's crazy.
I never seen such a thing.
I never seen it either. That was insane. When I seen that, I was like, huh? And, we all play fantasy and everything like that. We had A-Chain on somebody's bench getting 60 points on the bench. I was like, ooh, I hurt. I would have been upset seeing that. And he lost, by the way. He lost, too. So
that sucks.
Salt on the wound, knowing that you had a 60 points on the bench and then, you lost your fantasy, too. Man. All right, let's be serious. For a second. We're going to talk about the biggest game real quick because this game was a blowout as well. And I just want to talk about it just because there's a lot of hype on this team the last couple of weeks. And I want to get your take on it, Ray. So we're going to go straight to Oregon versus Colorado. Colorado losing to Oregon 42-6. And it wasn't a game. It really wasn't. Colorado's 6 points literally came in the last few minutes of the game. Is the hype around Colorado dead?
It's not dead, but it needs to be revived.
Mm-hmm.
Once you win a game, like Jerome, like you lose a game, your week sucks.
Yeah,
you get to play again, and then hopefully you win the game. I mean, man, the reason the final score is irrelevant. I mean, don't get me wrong. Did it matter to Colorado and their fans? Of course. It mattered to everyone who wanted to watch a good football game and didn't get to see a competitive football game. Correct. But in the end, if you lose by 2 or you lose by 1 or you lose by 40, it's still a loss. It doesn't really matter. It's about, okay, what did we do wrong? Let's kind of fix this and then move on to the next game as much as we can. I mean, let's face it, man. Oregon is a much more physical, athletic team than Colorado right now. And they showed that. And like I said before, as much as I respect and like Deion Sanders, sometimes his speaking a lot is going to create a target on his team's back.
100%.
But again, I don't think he worries about that.
No, yeah, and 100%. We talked about this last week. If the talking will get you, get you in trouble and stuff like that. I don't think his talking necessarily got him in trouble. I think that this was more of a case of exactly what I feared, and I think you feared it a little bit last during the offseason, is that it's a very young team. It's a team that, what was it, 40-something transfers, like unheard of. So what they was doing in the beginning of the season was literally unheard of, like, playing very well for a team that's literally just put together. But the issue is They play a TCU team that's pretty much on the same boat as them. They lost a lot to the NFL draft last year. You played a Colorado State team who you should have played the way you did with TCU, where you had a close game in overtime. And, yes, it's very exciting and stuff like that. I think that, all the hype around it and everything kind of blinded us to the fact that, that was a close game and they could have lost that game. They came back and won that game in overtime. So, I'm not taking anything away from Deion Sanders. I'm not taking anything away from the program because I think overall, I personally think what Deion's doing there is amazing because for a team that nobody talked about, a 2-win team last year, they already matched their win count from last year. And, even before this season started, we were like, man, like they have a hard schedule. They play USC this weekend, rather.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a tough 2 games, man. And we talked about that. It's going to be a tough couple of games. They're going to be able to, bounce back from some, and I feel like they do have the capability of upsetting some teams. I don't think it's happened this week. But, I think there's going to be, they're going to play the tough teams. They're going to, the hype is going to die down a little bit. I feel like there's going to be a little hype juice because they're probably going to beat a team that maybe they shouldn't have beat, going down the field. Again, I don't think it's this weekend. But, and then they're going to be, a little bit more low-key going into next year. And then I feel like the hype's going to come back up again because you're going to have more experience and everything. But right now, I just think that, with everything going on, Deion being there, this and that, it was a lot of hype around it. And, a lot of us did get sucked up into it. But at the end of the day, I still look very highly of Deion Sanders. I don't think this is a blemish on him. I don't think this is a blemish on the program. I think, at the end of the day, I just think this is a humbling experience that might make them grow from it. So
I agree. I don't think they have anything to be embarrassed about. I don't think there's anything that they should change, anything they've been trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think they know and we know they only won 1 or 2 games this year. They need more help.
Correct.
To do what they've done already is already, they're definitely progressing forward. It's just, again, the 21-point line tells you all what the people that made the odds thought of it. They thought Oregon was going to pretty much beat them by 3 scores, and they were correct. So the score didn't surprise me. The outcome, none of it really surprised me. Nothing surprised me about it. I just felt like I wish that they could have found some way to slow Oregon down. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Even offensively, I mean, Shadir only had 159 yards with 33 attempts, 23 completions. So he wasn't getting him that far down the field. He really wasn't. For that, I don't have the average of what that is, but I'm sure that average is no more than 10. It's definitely not more than 10 for sure. Right. So, if you're in the passing game and you're getting way less than 10 yards per reception, that means you're doing a lot of dinking and dunking. You're not getting anything down the field, and that was the game plan. And Oregon's always been a fast team anyway. Oregon always been a fast team.
That's a little over 7 yards of reception is what it is.
There you go.
I kind of did a little bit of math in my brain here. That's like a little over 7 yards of reception, dude.
Yeah.
Which means he was dinking and dunking, probably trying to. I mean, man, again, Oregon is one of them teams that they're a fast team to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
You got to start out fast with them. If not, you're not going to sustain them. So
100%.
Again, about Colorado, it's like you said. They're going to struggle with USC too.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, then we'll see what happens after that. So,
100%. So, yeah, again, not here to tear them down. I still think they're a good program. I will never, say anything bad about the team unless they're actually really, really bad. But 1 year with a head coach, you should not be, playing on the level they was playing anyway. So, kudos to them. I think they're a great program, and honestly, I really do hope that Deion takes this team and make them a powerhouse at some point. Of course, if he stays, but that's another story. But
we'll see how. I'm sure he's going to have more kids join his team next year.
Correct.
And he's done a pretty good job recruiting, so they'll be fine.
Yeah, he already got some recruits that are already committed to him.
Yeah.
Already. I'm very, very intrigued to see some of the guys like Winnie Winston from IG Academy. It's a good receiver that they're gonna get soon. So they got plenty of other guys. That's just one that's just coming out the top of my head. So I do anticipate them being a lot better in the years to come. So All right, let's get to our next game, and that game will be FSU versus Clemson. Man, what a game! What a game! Overtime game. FSU wins 31-21 to Clemson. First and foremost, Ray, what do you think about the game in general?
It was like one of the best games I saw all day, to be honest with you, Jerome. It really was. It was just from start to finish, a lot of emotion.
Correct.
Jordan Travis had a nice game, 21-37, 289. Combined for three scores. The surprising part was that the Florida State only ran for 22 yards.
Yeah.
It was all mostly in the air and a defensive touchdown, which probably was the turning point of the game.
Correct. Yeah, I agree. That is definitely the turning point of the game, in my opinion, as well. Despite the loss, I think this is Clemson's best game I've seen them play. It does suck that they have their second loss of the season, but this might be the best, at least offensively. I think this is the best I've seen this Clemson team play all year.
Yeah, Klubnik played really well.
Mm-hmm.
Will Shipley didn't run for a lot of yards, but he played well. Phil Moffitt, their other running back,
I like him.
I like both of them kids. I think they're both good football players. I really think that they should give them kids the ball a little bit more than they do. But that's the problem that Clemson's had for a couple of years now. The part that I don't like understanding about Clemson is they have guys on their defense, but they don't play well, man.
Yeah.
They're all a bunch of freelancers, man. They all want to make plays, but they don't play together.
Yeah. We talked about that a few weeks ago. It's just like they got all the talent there. Got the names, they got the guys, and it's just not clicking for whatever reason. I think that caused us to have a lot of big what's the word I'm looking for? Big expectations. There you go. Big expectations for this team because of how all the good players they had. The players that we thought were going to be really good this year, and it just playing together is not working out, like you said, Ray. So not sure what's going on there, but
I mean, I think Public had a good game. He had a very good game. 25 to 38, 283. 2 touchdowns. Shipley played solid. It was their offensive line. Well, here's another thing. Clemson's offensive line is not good, man, but they haven't been good for years. So, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, and, when you don't have a Trevor Lawrence who can save a offensive line, it makes it really tough on our quarterbacks. So, shout out to
hard for guys to run the ball. It just makes it hard to do anything consistently on offense. And when you have Florida State's defense that was flying around, I was really like, it was a hard game for me because I didn't care who won, but I was glad to see Florida State win. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. So, I feel like this game for me tells me a little bit more about Clemson than Florida State. Florida State, I kind of feel like Florida State is where I thought Florida State is. They are, or at least they were ranked number 4. I don't know where you're at right now. I'll look into that in a second. But I just thought like, Clemson is not looking good this year. What's going on with them? Blah, blah, blah. And in the losing effort, it made me feel like, man, Clemson starting to get their act together. So, like I said, and they're at number 5 right now. So, Florida State, that is. Yeah. They lost a ranking. one position down. But
They
yeah,
dropped
I
down a
think
spot
that.
behind who?
Oh no, I haven't looked at the entire thing yet. Let me see. Hold on. What rankings? They are behind Ohio State. Go figure.
Yeah.
So I think they was anxious to put them back up there. To be
I
honest.
just don't understand how you could beat Clemson and fall down in the rankings. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
All
And
right.
both games was tight games. It wasn't
Yeah.
like Ohio State blew out Notre Dame. It was both closest games. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But
It is what it
anyway,
is, man.
yeah, we don't make the rules here. So
I do not.
all right, let's get to our next game real quick, and that's going to be Alabama Ole Miss. Another good game this weekend. Clemson, I'm sorry, Alabama beating Ole Miss 24-10, 2-touchdown win. What you think about this one, Ray?
This was not really a good game. I
I thought it was.
I didn't think. It was
It
competitive
was
for
close
half.
for the most part. It was close for the most part.
Yeah, but it was kind of like just sloppy. It was like the least
Yeah,
the least sloppy team won.
yeah.
But it was a competitive game for a good part of the way. When I say it wasn't a good game, it wasn't played well.
You got you. I got you.
Florida State, Clemson, they both teams played pretty well, and then Florida State was just a little bit better.
Mhm.
Even when we haven't gotten to the Ohio State Notre Dame game, both teams played fairly well, and then one team played a little better when it mattered.
Yeah.
I thought Alabama just they just wore on Ole Miss and found a way to be better than them. It wasn't.
For me, we were talking all last week about has Alabama lost a step, and it mainly came off of. Obviously, they're having quarterback issues, and still trying to figure that out. And we knew that coming into the season, we figured it out. But what we didn't know is the defense was going to struggle as much as they were. I feel like this is the Alabama defensive come out party right here. 5 sacks in this game.
Yeah, their defense played well. Their defense played pretty well. You're right about that. I just looked at it as a whole. Their offense was very sporadic. Ole Miss's offense was very sporadic. Maybe Ole Miss's offense was sporadic because Alabama's defense did play a little better.
Yeah,
it was a game where the outcome was what I expected, though.
Correct. Yeah. Dart had a pretty solid game. Didn't throw it for any touchdowns. He did throw a pick that we just talked about. He ran in for a touchdown. Then you have Monroe, who threw a pick. They have an interception. Had an okay game, not crazy, 17 for 21, 225 yards. So I feel like it was just a solid game. I don't feel like it was a bad game or, the sloppiness comes from just good defense. They both had really good defenses in my mind. And, for most of that game, Ole Miss was winning. Ole Miss came into was in the second half winning 7-6. It was the third quarter that they kind of relinquished that. And then at the end of the day, but I enjoyed the game. I thought it was a good game. It was very suspenseful, especially until the fourth quarter, obviously. But overall, I enjoyed the game. I thought it was a good game. And you know how I am. I just like defense, so maybe that's what it was. But
no, I thought it was a decent game. It wasn't. Maybe I would have been.
Maybe it wasn't Alabama football for you. Maybe that's what it was.
It wasn't regular Alabama football to me.
Yeah.
It was just more like, even though Alabama won and they won by 2 scores,
yeah,
they won unimpressively.
Okay, I get you. Because I feel like at this point I'm kind of like, all right, Alabama's kind of not Alabama.
Yeah.
So yeah, I felt like that at the end of last year that they wasn't the traditional Alabama team. that we're accustomed to. So I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of out of my mind now. Just like, all right, well, they're not who they used to be. Like they're gonna have games like this now. So I don't know.
See, my
Maybe
question
just
is like you said, Alabama's defense played well, and they
yeah.
statistically they played pretty well. Were they really that good though, or was Ole Miss just? Eh?
I mean, it could have been a little bit of like Ole Miss not a good team either. I mean,
56 yards rushing. Quarterback completes a little over 50% of his passes for only 244 yards. I mean, yeah, could it be that Alabama's defense was good? Yeah, but I'm not sure they're not that. I don't think Ole Miss is that good. I don't.
okay, okay, respect, respect, respect. All right, let's get to our next game. Ray, I think the curse is over. 2 times in a row this year, I picked Utah and they won.
Yes, they're
Is it? Am I washed of this curse now? I'm a
um
little excited about this.
I'm not going to go there yet, but but Utah's defense is very good. Really good.
yes, very, very good. Actually, I might go on a limb and say they are a top 5 team. Defense, man, they're
They are a
good.
very good defense. The question will be, can they scrape up enough offense to win, anything significant? I mean, they can win a conference championship. I got that.
Yeah,
They'll be in it. Can they stop USC is the question.
yes. No, that would definitely be the question, and we'll see. Obviously, Utah still doesn't have Cam Rising. They're doing really well with the quarterbacks they have though right now. I think Johnson was the only one that passed this game. They're not asking too much of him. He only passed 17 times, so they're not asking too much of him. They have a touchdown passing the ball. It's a lot of running, it's a lot of defense, and playing very old school. Very old school play. I mean, it was only 7-14 game, so it wasn't like it was like a blowout in any kind of way. Utah got that 14 points very early, and then UCLA got that their single only touchdown at the end of the year. It was a dominating defensive game on both sides, actually. Both sides.
It was. Dante
So,
Moore struggled in this game. So
yes. Yeah, I think his youthfulness and inexperience definitely showed in this. I was a little again, I seen him in person, I seen him play before. And I think he's a good quarterback. I still didn't think he was ready for college and to be starting in college. Started off very well in the beginning of the season, but we haven't seen him play against a really good defense too. So, I feel like this is kind of a wake-up call for him, get him understanding like, it's not going to always be easy. Going to go through some growing pains and things like that. And I think it's going to help him. I really do. He still put his team in a position where they can possibly win at the end. Obviously, that didn't happen. But, I'm not gonna knock Dante Moore for this game. Again, he's a freshman. He's just getting into it. I think he's doing really well for a freshman and just getting in the limelight. I'm just surprised that UCLA didn't run as much as they could have.
You know what, Jerome? They ran the ball. They got 9 yards rushing though. They have more.
They ran the ball. Yeah. They ran the ball. They definitely ran the ball. Dante Moore had negative 51 yards.
Yeah. So they ran the ball. They
was trying to.
They ran the ball for like no yardage just about. They got 9 total yards rushing, dude.
Yeah. Their longest run was a total of 12 yards. So
I mean they didn't. And I guess that's the problem. Like if you can't run the ball, but we know Utah's defense is good.
Correct.
I think when we talked about this game, I said this is going to be the Dante Moore game where we're going to see if he can handle pressure, and they didn't. The whole offense, they just did not look like themselves the whole game. So,
correct. Yeah, very exciting game. I like, I just personally like defense. So for me, if you like offense, this wasn't your game. For me, I love seeing flying offense, especially in the Pac-12, man. I just love seeing, at least one good defensive team in the Pac-12. So, it's brings me joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if Utah had their quarterback, and then we would have saw if UCLA's defense is really good, or if they just got to play a team who's not quite where they need to be offensively.
Correct. Yeah, and I'm not sure when Cam Rising's coming back. I'm looking forward to it. I hope he does come back before the playoffs, because this defense, after a while, the defense is going to need somebody to kind of carry their weight. They're going to start getting tired, things like that, especially against good teams. And you're going to need some sustained offense with this team. So right now it's working out, but it's eventually I think it's going to nip them in the butt, just having just the defense. Now, I'm not asking for an explosive offense when Cam Rising come back, but sustain some drives, keep the defense off the field, keep them fresh, that kind of thing. They'll be a better team in that sense. But right now, I just think that
with their defense, they're going to really to keep USC to 17, 21 points is a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Can you score 21, 24, 27 points to beat them will be the question. Right now, I don't think so.
Yeah, and that's concerning. I wonder. Let me look at their schedule real quick because I'm curious when they play them.
They play USC on October 21st.
Oh, thanks, Ray.
No
awesome.
problem.
Yeah, so
they have two more games: Oregon State, California, and then they play USC.
Yeah,
I don't think Rising.
They're trying to get Cam Rising back. I hope. I mean, I don't know when he's going to come back. I thought he was supposed to come back like 2 weeks ago, to be honest. And he hasn't. So, maybe a little bit more serious than I thought of an injury, but we'll see.
I mean, because I like Jalen Glover, the running back.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a good football player, and I like their number one receiver, Tavon Bell. But I think if Rising's not playing, they're going to have a hard time using those guys. So,
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get to our next game. It's going to be LSU versus Arkansas. So we actually had two other games slated. We're going to actually skip those other two teams. But I know we were going to talk about the last game a little bit more intense and take up too much time. So we're going to talk about this LSU-Arkansas game real quick, and then we're going to get to the game of the week, in my opinion. Arkansas versus LSU. LSU winning 34-31. What's your overall thoughts on this game, Ray?
That LSU's not as good this year as they were last year.
Yeah.
And that they have a lot of work to do on defense with LSU.
I mean, go ahead.
What happened to LSU's defensive backfield, dude?
I don't know. And I think they banged up, if I'm not mistaken. I heard they was banged up, but I don't know what's going on. You're right.
It's a tough game for me because I didn't get to watch a lot of it. And then I seen Jaden Daniels throwing for 320 yards. And I'm like,
yeah, the thing is, those 320 yards, although right there it looks great, but he's struggling at first. They were struggling at first.
Yeah.
So, the first half, they were really struggling to really move the ball. Then it seemed like they really got it clicking after a while. LSU, I don't know. They're I feel like I had a little bit more high hopes for this team. They didn't play horribly, but defensively, they just couldn't keep up.
We know that KJ Jefferson, the Arkansas quarterback, is a good football player. He is.
Correct.
And he played pretty well and kind of kept him in this game most of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I thought LSU's defense would be a little bit better. That's all.
No, they did pick it up. They did wind up getting 2 interceptions at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
That really helped and sealed this game away. I was actually at the Georgia game this weekend versus UAB. First time being in the stadium, so I just was like, hey, why not? So I'm really score watching, so I didn't really get to watch this game nor the Notre Dame game, fortunately. really score watching and being able to watch some certain plays during halftime and stuff like that where the show on the show. So I had to really watch some highlights. So I haven't had a full understanding of this game. But I will say this: LSU needs to pick it up. LSU needs to definitely pick it up because if it wasn't for your Burns saving that touchdown, there would have been an issue. They had an issue. We said right?
Yep, I'm just kind of used to these kind of games from like LSU, man, like Brian Kelly. Yeah.
I hear you.
Talk about a guy that doesn't really fit the scenery.
Yeah.
But hey, man, they say about making your bed, right?
Yeah. No, 100%. I got you. Hey, man, he chose to leave, so
good for him.
All right, let's get to the game of the week. Speaking of Brian Kelly, Notre Dame versus Ohio State. So again, I didn't get to fully watch this game. I was watching a lot of highlights, but this was the game that I was paying attention to the most. Ray, I know you have a lot to talk about with this one, so I'm gonna give my quick analysis on the game and what I thought of it. First and foremost, McCord, I think that he's got a lot of developing to do. He's still not there, especially for an Ohio State type of team. I feel like Ohio State kind of learned how to run a little bit more in this game. I think that's one of the things they've been kind of struggling with. A lot of that. Notre Dame's defense is good again, which I really do like. And there is one big point at the end of this game I do want to talk about, but I'm going to let you talk first. I'm sure you're going to mention it. Istamine, is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
He is a beast. I like him a lot. He is a beast. I really, really do like him.
Roderick Estime, he's very good.
Yeah, I really do like him. Yeah, like I said, your defense is good. It looked like you guys was gonna win at the end of the game. Then they got that last second touchdown. I'm sure you're gonna talk about it, but Marvin Harrison Jr. Was kind of shut out. He did get injured in the game at one point and came back in. He did make a big play at the end of the game to set up that touchdown. But I just feel like offensively Notre Dame didn't do enough. Obviously, I was hoping that Sam Hartman would be able to kind of take over the game a little bit more than he did. Again, we talk about Dick and Duncan. He had just under 10 yards per reception. 10 yards per pass. Reception, pass, however you want to call it. So I'm gonna let you take the floor, Ray. What was your thoughts on this game?
Well, their inability to find open receivers in the game hurt them. They run the ball fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't run the ball quite enough for me. I didn't understand the quarterback sneak call. Again, you have Roderick Estime. Why are you for 1 yard? Your quarterback sneaking it. I didn't like the call. I didn't like anything that happened with it. I liked the fact that both teams. It was a good game.
Correct.
Both teams played very hard. It was a good game. I don't like Ryan Day, so anytime I got to see his face, it annoys me. So I got to see a little bit, way too much of that. What stands out to me is I think Kyle McCord is going to be a pretty good player. I actually watched him play at St. Joseph's. He used to play at St. Joe's, and I think he has talent. I do. I think he needs to develop, but he has some potential. My number one, I think I mentioned this to you. I know I mentioned it to Ryan a couple of times. My number one problem with Notre Dame's defense is they don't generate enough pass rush, and that killed them in this game. They didn't have enough pressure on McCord, and that's what bothered me at the end of the game. 4th and 19. You're rushing 3. Why?
Well, that tells you all you need to know, though.
Well,
they didn't think they could get there. They didn't think they could get there, so why not put an extra person in coverage
No. I disagree with that. Don't tell me you're going to be. You're going
No,
to
no,
be.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I don't like it either.
No, I mean, I don't understand. We're going to be. We're not going to be complacent. We're going to attack, and then the biggest time of the game, you lay back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand. I do. I get it. You're thinking we just need to defend this 20 yards and we'll be good and the game will be over. I get that. You can't just send 3-man pressures, dude, if you want to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
You can't. I would have sent another guy from somewhere. Again, and this is not hindsight. This is when they said, when they're saying it looks like they're only going to rush 3. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you need to send
just made it easy for him.
Somewhere.
You literally just made it easy for him because you already can't. I get the logic in it in a sense, but at the same time, like you only rush 3 and you already can't generate pass rush.
That's the thing. If you were able to generate pass rush with your down lineman, that's fine. But you've already showed by the whole game you couldn't get no pressure on the quarterback. You showed that you were playing good coverage. So if I do have good cover guys. My corners are good. Safeties are pretty good. So
nobody can cover that long.
What's that?
Nobody can cover that long though.
Yeah, no, but that's the point. Why if I have good corners and I have good secondary guys, why am I worried about coverage when I should be worried about getting to the quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, like I know I don't want to go back in time when they used to ask Buddy Ryan about, buddy, what do you think about, how can you stop an offense? He said, sack the quarterback, get to the quarterback. I'll get to the quarterback and I'll play the run as I'm getting to the quarterback. I mean, like, again, that, and I don't know if you know this, you probably do. The last touchdown they scored, we only had 10 guys on defense.
And that's the point I was trying to make earlier.
And the crazy thing is, Drum, this is what bothers me about it. I'm looking at the field, I'm like, I only see 10 guys. They got to call timeout. But then I'm thinking, we don't have a timeout. And then here's the thing, and this is what I like Marcus Freeman, man. I'm really trying to really like him. I really am, man, because I want Brian Kelly to fail, and I want him to succeed because I'm a Notre Dame fan. But that is something that's unacceptable. And his answer of, I didn't want to take a penalty there, a 1.5 penalty, unacceptable. Take it.
You're right. No, I didn't get that either, Ray. I did see that, and I was waiting. That's why I mentioned the first it. Your team, I wanted to see how you felt about it. Having 10 guys at the most pivotal part of the game is literally unacceptable. Like, you took the words right out of my mouth. Unacceptable. You can't do that. Take the penalty. Like,
what do you get to
you're
lose?
gonna have an inch that much.
So Ohio State. So what happened? The problem with that is Ohio State comes out and they're running a play where they overload the right side.
Yeah.
So we have 9 guys over here and 2 guys over here defending 3 guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I would have been like, call timeout, okay? And honestly, you should have a signal to tell a guy, get a call, jump off sides, do something, stop the clock.
Yep.
But I was like, again, man, I hate this hindsight stuff. But I'm looking at the TV and everything's moving fast. Don't get me wrong, I understand everything's moving fast. But my brain is saying, I only see 10 guys. How could I see that and they didn't? And then unless, again, is Marcus Freeman being honest and he realized there was only 10 guys there? So he didn't want to get, again, you're talking about a 1.5 penalty. I'd rather defend a 1.5 with 11 guys than 3 feet.
Shoot, I would have ran my whole sideline out there. Like, everybody go out there.
I ran on the field. What are you going to do?
No,
if I run on the field and what do you do? You're going to call a penalty, throw me out of the game? That's fine. I need my defense to win the game here. It's the biggest play of the game. I can't have 2 guys on the field when it's happening. And that happened after a timeout.
I know.
That's what I mean. Like, that's what I mean. That's unacceptable. Again, I'm not trying to kill the coach. I'm not. He's done a good job, man. They played hard. They played their butts off. Both teams did. It was a really enjoyable game to watch, except for like the last 10 seconds.
Yeah. Even McCoy said that y'all had a soft defense at the end. I don't think he meant like their players were soft, but he was saying
he said coverage. Right. They were like, well, there's only 10 guys and we're over. And honestly, I don't is Ryan Day the offensive coordinator at Ohio State? He is, right?
I think so.
Oh no, it's Brian Hartline.
Oh yeah. Hartline.
I should have known. You don't think he saw that? I mean, I had a great weekend, man, except for that 10 seconds. And Jerome hasn't moved, so I guess Jerome's frozen again. All right, well.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Sorry, what were you saying? You should have known what?
I had a great – what's that?
Last thing I heard you say,
I should have known that Brian Hartline was the dude, because he picked right up on that. Smart, man.
No, he is. And it just, as a Michigan fan, it does suck to see that y'all was playing so well and then lose it at the end. And and now you got Ryan Day talking, and like you said, not a fan of Ryan Day. It's something about him I just really don't like. I know it's Ohio State, but like I can like coaches that from teams that I don't like.
You know what's crazy, man? I'm not gonna lie, dude. I don't like Michigan. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan. Okay,
correct.
But I do like their coach.
Yeah,
I do. I like Jim Harbaugh, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a good coach. I agree. I think he's an intense competitor that would do anything to win.
And he's a player's coach, and I personally like player coaches.
I remember when he got drafted, dude, and the guy asked him, "What do you think about being drafted by the Bears?" He goes, "I think Jim McMahon will be out of a job in a year." I love that.
Yeah, he's that type of guy.
I love that mentality, dude. I just do. Yeah. I mean, I like him. He's a little weird too. I'm not going to say he's not weird.
No,
he's a great guy.
He's definitely that. He's a black cookie.
Dude, I just see I know, dude, this is going to sound weird. I see myself when I look at him. Like someone who just hates to lose, like hates it. It's like you can't fathom losing because you can't believe it's going to happen to you. Like I'm the same way. Yeah, I don't ever think about losing. I only think, what can I do to win? Even with my team, I think like, what can I do in this game coming up to win the game? That's what bothers me. Notre Dame did everything right except for find a receiver that was hot. They need to do that, man. Their tight end had a great game.
What's going on, Don? Thanks for being in here to say, yo, boys, what's going on, man? Good to see you in here. Appreciate you. We're going to get to our game picks. I know you're waiting for them. All I can say is, wow, yes, that was a wild ending. And, if I was an Ohio State fan, I would have been like, oh, my God, that's such a great game, and blah-blah. It was a good game. Don't get me wrong.
No, it was a good game.
But you guys definitely blew it.
No.
You guys definitely blew it.
Here's the thing, though, dude. Here's Jerome, and even when, man, Ohio State made the plays to win the game at the end of the game, and we did not.
Yep. Last week was a great week. Yeah. We were definitely talking about that in the beginning of the podcast. This was a really good college football week.
Thank God for the Miami Dolphins. That's all I can say, man.
The Miami Dolphins score. For sure. All right. Let's get into our game picks. So we're going to talk about this because, man, I had a horrible week last week. I was 4-6. Ray, you were 7-3. So now our scores are very close. You are winning by one game now, Ray. Congratulations. So you are one game lead on me for the first time this season. So I'm not happy about it because I had a pretty good lead last week.
You know what's
That's
crazy,
terrible.
Jerome? You could have told me I did shitty and I would have known. I was so wrapped up in the games, man. Like
No,
how
I hear
good they
you.
were. Like,
Yeah.
what good games there were, man. Like,
Yeah. There was a lot of good games, and your team was definitely in one. So I totally understand you not being into it. But yeah, you had only lost. We both didn't get the Clemson game. Obviously, we both didn't get the Appalachian State game and the Notre Dame game. You did get K-State over USC over me, and you also got the Oklahoma State versus Iowa State over me, and you also had Texas A&M over Auburn. So you did get those games. So congrats on those, man.
I'm checking my thing now. I didn't even check this week, man. I'm just,
It's all good, man. It's all good. Like, and that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for, man. I got you. But yeah, you're ahead of me. So I'm gonna make this make a comeback this week. One game. It's only one game, but yeah, you got me. So let's get right into it with our game picks. For week. It says nope, wrong one. Week 5 game picks. So, right, we're gonna start off with Utah versus Oregon State. Who are you taking?
Wow, Jerome, I don't like
Oregon
this
State
game.
is at home, by the way, and Utah is favored by 3.
I'm going to take Utah.
I'm taking Utah as well. Just based on what we talked about earlier, I think that Utah is still a better team. This is a team that makes it work.
I'll be honest, if they had their quarterback, I'd feel a lot better about it. To be honest with you,
100%.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I agree, and I think that's why it's kind of reflecting on their
line. Yeah.
Yeah, it's reflecting on the line and it's reflecting on their rankings because they're ranked number 10 right now. I think there was in the top 10 earlier in the season. So
I think Utah is a lot better than Oregon State. So
yeah. No, I agree.
Yep.
All right. Next game, we're gonna go BYU versus Cincinnati. Who you taking, Ray?
I hate this game too, man.
BYU is at home. Cincinnati is favored by 3. Oh, I'm sorry. The last game, by the way, Oregon State was favored by 3. Sorry, I said Utah was favored by 3.
They are favored by 3, 3.5 actually.
Yes. Sorry.
I'm still taking Utah.
Okay. All right. BYU and Cincinnati. Who you taking? It's a good game.
I think I'm going to take BYU.
Ooh. Okay. I'm still going with Cincinnati. Yeah, I like. This is a good game. I like the line actually. So I'm not surprised seeing it. I still think that Cincinnati has some juice. I like their coach. Even though it's not Fickle, I like what the new guy's doing. They are 2-2. They lost a lot of pieces the last few years, so I don't want to take that away from them. But for some of the young guys, I think they're a good team. Still think their defense is really good. BYU is also really good. They only lost 1 game this year, and they are going to be home, so that is an advantage. But I do like what I see from Cincinnati right now. I'm going to take them again this week. So, all right, let's get to our next one. Florida versus Kentucky. Kentucky is at home. They're only favored by a point.
I got Florida.
I'm taking Florida. Yeah. So, closer games that I would like. I don't like the line that much, honestly.
I mean, I don't like it either, Drum, but it doesn't really give you any indication.
Yeah.
They're telling you that Kentucky is going to win by a point.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt if that's the case, but
Nah.
I mean,
I agree.
I think Florida is way better than Kentucky. I think Kentucky's defense is not horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if their offense can keep up with Florida's. I just don't think that's
The defense is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Defense is actually pretty good. A big reason why they're still 4-0. Florida is 1-3, but I feel like they showed a little bit more overall to feel like Florida can pull this off.
Well, Florida's had a much tougher schedule than Kentucky early on.
Yeah, harder opponents and everything. So I agree. All right, next one we're gonna go Texas A&M versus Arkansas. Arkansas is at home. but they are underdogs by 6.5. Who taking?
Texas A&M.
This is only hard for me because the way that Arkansas played against LSU. That's why I think I'll pick this game. This one's kind of hard for me. I'm not a fan of the line.
I'm not a fan of Texas A&M either, but the line can take them.
They did have an impressive game last week.
They did. And I don't think Arkansas was as good as LSU made him look. I don't. So
yeah. That one's hard just because, well, it's a neutral site, but, Arkansas is used to playing at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah.
Actually, I think both of them play there a lot, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they do, too.
Yeah. So it is a neutral site, technically.
Yeah. So, again,
which is probably why Texas is up so much, too.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, that is.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Texas A&M. I'm just going to do it.
All right.
Convince myself. But that Arkansas game last week made me very curious about that.
Because they have KJ Jefferson.
Yeah.
He's has the ability to put points on the board, not by himself, but pretty much close to it. So
definitely.
I think that he makes them a little bit more formidable than they would be, if he wasn't there, obviously. So
definitely. All right, I missed a couple of chats from Don. He said, not so fast boys, Oregon State ML. Not sure what ML is, but Oregon State. You got Oregon State. Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see. That Utah defense is going to be hard for Oregon State, and they stopping a lot of guys on that defense. So if you are going to make a case, it's going to be the offense not going to do enough, like Ray said earlier, to outscore Oregon State. Even if it's slow. So we'll say I do like Oregon State there. BYU BYU don't like Cincinnati quarterback. I mean, they're rivals, aren't they? He says, I have a question on 2 games for Thursday. So he's asking about Middle Tennessee versus West Kentucky. Do y'all like that game to go under 60.5? What do you think, Ray?
I would say yes, under. If you told me who was going to win first, because Middle Tennessee is pretty much a running team. And if they win, then it should definitely be under.
Definitely. And then we got Temple versus Utah under 55.5. Where in the hell are the points going to come from?
Temple, yeah, you know what it is? Also, Temple has a good defense.
They do.
Defense is pretty good, but Tulsa likes to score points. So
correct.
I would say under 2, but
something's definitely gonna give.
The only thing that could stop it is if Tulsa turns the ball over.
Yeah.
I
agree. All right, let's get back to our picks, and the next one we're going to talk about is LSU versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss is at home. They're favored. LSU is favored by 2.5. Who you taking, Ray?
I'm going to take LSU, even though I'm not feeling good about it.
Yeah. I'm doing the same.
Only because of the line.
I'm taking them 2 weeks in a row. They did give me a win last week. So, but it was very shaky. We'll see how it goes this week. I think mainly because they start off so slow. So, maybe this week they'll get a little bit of wake up call and be like, all right, we got to start fast. We can't start the game like we did last week.
I agree. I think that's the one thing Brian Kelly does do. As much as I don't like the guy, he's a good offensive coach. He is. He likes to run the ball. The problem with Brian Kelly is this: he falls in love with running and passing.
Correct.
One game he'll want to just run the ball down your throat, and then the next game he wants to pass the ball on every play. That's always been frustrating to me because I think in order to have a great offense, you have to be as balanced as possible.
Definitely.
No problem, Don.
No problem, Don.
Enough.
All right, next game. This line definitely changed a little bit. Notre Dame versus Duke. Duke undefeated right now. They're home. Notre Dame is favored by 6. I don't think any of us is taking Duke, but what can you expect from this team?
I expect Duke to play hard, but I need Notre Dame to win by. If they can win by 3 scores, it would help me out a lot.
Yeah, I think you're gonna take revenge on the Duke. Unfortunately,
I think the thing about Notre Dame is now, in order for them to even have a shot in the playoffs, they got to run the table, and Ohio State has to obliterate everybody that play now.
Correct.
Which I hate rooting for that because I don't like Ohio State either.
Yeah.
And here's the difference, though. I like Michigan uniforms. I hate Ohio State uniforms. Okay, hate them.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I hate their uniforms too. It's just
ugly as shit, dude.
No, it's so ugly, so ugly, man. I don't know what's going on with that. But I try not to say stuff because I always seem like I'm being a homer.
Well, I'm not. I don't care about either one of them. I just think I like Michigan's uniforms. I don't like Penn State's uniform either. They're too plain. I don't mind. I don't mind the black. I like the aesthetic. I don't mind the black with the white letters. I hate the white with the black. I just don't like it. And I hate red in general. I don't like the color red in general, even though I know I'm a Phillies fan, but okay, I can't help that. I don't like red in general.
Yeah.
And that gray and red, that's ugly, man. Ugly.
Yeah. Fashion advice from Ray.
No, you don't take fashion advice from me. But I like color schemes.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not a big fan of gray. It's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But red? No.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't think I'm very impressed with what Duke been doing this year. I don't think they can stand up to a Notre Dame. Yes, they beat Clemson. I think they kind of caught Clemson by surprise. Clemson was kind of like shaky in any way. So, I mean, if they pull this game out, I mean, I feel like I'm gonna have to respect them more. But for sure, very impressive start to the season, undefeated right now. I am intrigued by them, though. I am intrigued. I want to see how they play against them.
I am too. I hope they play well. And Notre Dame still wins by 2 or 3 scores. That's all.
Of course. All right, let's get to our next game. Pitt versus Virginia Tech. VTech is at home. Pitt is favored. Both 1 and 3. Who you taking?
I'm taking Pittsburgh, but I don't know why.
Oh man, that's great. I'm taking Virginia Tech literally because they're home. That's literally why I'm picking them. I think they're actually very similar teams, so I don't hate the line at all.
I think Pittsburgh's a little more physical up front and Virginia Tech more athletic.
Yeah.
So it's going to be if Pittsburgh can run the ball for 150 so yards, they have a shot at winning. And if they can't, they probably won't win.
Yeah. 2 disappointing teams this year. I'm taking literally, like I said, I'm taking VTech because they're home. It is a night game, so those games tend to be a lot more rowdier and louder and more intense. I think it's going to be a little bit in the favor of Virginia Tech. So we'll see. Let's go Illinois versus Purdue. I'm sorry, Purdue is at home. I'm trying to find a line now.
There is no line on my board.
You don't have one? I don't either. It's actually a pick'em game. So what you got?
What do I got? You know what? I'm going to take Purdue because they're home.
I'm taking Illinois.
It's the only reason I'm taking because they're home.
The only reason I'm picking Illinois is that I feel like Purdue only gets up for big teams. And I don't think they feel like Illinois is a big team.
I don't disagree with that. And honestly, Jerome, the fact that they're away and it's a pick 'em, it's a good reason to take Illinois. I'm just taking Purdue because they're home.
Yeah, no, I get you. All right, next game, Clemson versus Syracuse. So this game was very close early. The line is going a little bit more in Clemson's side. Syracuse is at home; they're undefeated. Clemson is away; they're 2-2, 6.5 points favorite for them. Who you taking?
I'm taking Clemson. I don't really know why either. Again, but for one, I think they're a little bit more of a more talented team than Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they're not going to win anything, but if they want to salvage their season a little bit, they need to beat Syracuse. So,
100%. I'm taking Clemson simply because I was like what I said earlier. I was just a little impressed with Clemson and how they played and how they finished the game. At least the last game, taking their team to overtime, being able giving them a chance to win. That was again, like I said, that was the most impressive I've seen Clemson all season. So that gives me a little hope with them. And again, like you give me a little hope with a team plus the talent. I'm gonna take that every day. So I'm gonna, especially with the opponent, like I'm not saying Syracuse is bad because they're actually really good. They, like I said right now, and they're hot. They're home. I'm just gonna say Clemson squeeze it out and get it going. So
yeah, I think Syracuse's defense is pretty good. Jerome, I went to Syracuse last year. That stadium is awesome, dude.
yeah, I remember you telling me that was the Notre Dame game you lost to, right?
It is awesome, dude. It really is. There's not a bad seat in the place because it's not a huge place. And that dome, when them fans, dude, I've never heard a stadium that loud.
Really?
You couldn't hear yourself talk. It was so loud. Dude.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was a good game because Notre Dame played really well in that game last year.
Yeah.
And by the time the game was over, all the Syracuse people had left. But while it was going on, it was loud.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I like those atmospheres. Like I said, I just came from the Georgia. Is it the Georgia Dome? No, not the Georgia Dome. That's the
down there.
I forgot the stadium too, but Georgia's home stadium. Like I said, I went to that game versus UAB. As a football fan, I'm not gonna lie, it was very boring because it was a blowout. As somebody that never been to a stadium, it's pretty cool. It was a little weird for me because obviously I'm not a Georgia fan either. So, seeing other weird kind of traditions, stuff that I wasn't sure of and not being a fan. But, I like the atmosphere, the Georgia fans that were there was very kind to me. I went there and I didn't have any red on, the entire stadium. Everybody there had either red or black on. I had a green shirt on, regular green shirt on. Not even Eagles. It was just a green shirt, and everybody was like, "Are you a UAB fan?" I was like, "No, I'm not." But they was like super nice to me. They wasn't like being rude about it. I was like, "Oh, you're a USB fan?" I was like, "Nah, I'm actually a Michigan fan." And they was talking to me and stuff like that. So it was a cool atmosphere. And they were really nice to me and stuff like that. It wasn't no hostility or anything like that. They had their traditions that again I didn't understand it, but I was in a little Charlie, and it was like, Bulldogs and barking and stuff. I thought that was weird, but hey, I'm part of this fandom, so I'm not gonna get it. So, so I thought it was cool. It was cool experience.
Jerome, I've never been to a college football game where the atmosphere wasn't good. To be honest with you,
that's true. That's true.
I mean, it just brings out the best in people.
Yeah, for sure.
So much fun.
Yeah,
walking around the stadium. No matter what stadium I went to, even like last year when I went to Syracuse, I walked around the stadium and looked at the numbers of all the guys that played there before. College game day there. It was just a lot of fun. Every time I go to Notre Dame, it's always a good experience for me.
No, yeah, I hear you.
Well, at least this time they won. So,
yeah, hopefully I can go once more when they play a better team. I literally went last minute. I was actually really looking forward to watching that Notre Dame game. So, the only reason I got in, only reason I went, first of all, it was free. So,
how did you get tickets?
My friend Luke, if you don't remember Luke, he was on with us a few months ago. Luke, he goes to he goes to UGA, and I believe he got his tickets from his aunt. and they didn't want to go for that game, so he had an extra ticket. He invited me like literally last minute. Like I was at a Friday night game, coming back from. He's like, "Do you want to go to Georgia game tomorrow?" And I was like, "Shoot, why not?" So just went for the experience. Again, I knew it wasn't going to be a close game, even though I was trying to act like I was a UAB fan that day. But I knew it was going to be a close game. Just wanted to go for atmosphere. Never went there before, even though I've been in Georgia for 2 years now. So it was a cool experience for sure. Hopefully, I can go again when it is a better team and really get the feel for it.
Hey, Jerome, I'm looking at their schedule this year, dude. They don't have a hard game.
Nah, they don't have a.
I mean, Tennessee's not a bad team.
Yeah,
but it's home.
That game home?
No, it's at Tennessee.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
But
they don't have any. They honestly don't really have any good home games.
They play Auburn, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Florida.
Yeah, the Florida game's a neutral site. So
the neutral site. Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Georgia Tech. I mean, that's a cupcake schedule, man. No wonder they're going to go to friggin' national title game again.
Yeah,
I guess it's just they're playing that conference championship game, right?
Yeah, I will say this.
Who's going to beat them? Nick Saban or Brian Kelly?
Say it again.
Who do you think is going to beat them? Nick Saban or Brian Kelly?
Nick Saban.
Yeah, well, neither one's going to be.
If
one of them,
this is my thing, and this is what I was about to say. Not impressed with their quarterback. Not impressed with him.
Well, yeah, but we weren't impressed with Stetson Bennett either until the last 2 years.
Well, Stetson Bennett had a lot more talent around him, in my opinion, at least.
No. Georgia.
That defense was insane. That was
that defense. The last couple of years, man, has been friggin' like they're like a factory.
Yeah, exactly. So Stetson Bennett, he was good enough to win games. He was I always compare him to one of those backups, like a Nick Foles or something like that, where, you don't need them to really be the guy, but you need to come in for a couple of games, that kind of guy, and you don't need him to be a world beater. You just got to be good enough. He's like one of those type of quarterbacks where you don't need an elite guy because you have an elite team, and I think
those kind of guys shouldn't get drafted in the third round, though.
Well, he was, though, but
I think there's something wrong personally or something, right? He's hurt.
Yeah, I think he's on
some kind of
the exemption list or something like that for doing something. Yeah, so he's going through something right now. They haven't really released what it was. I don't think to the public. I know Sean McVay was kind of very
vague
on it. Yeah.
Well, I guess it has to be if it's personal, right?
Yeah.
No, blame him for that. I mean, honestly, if it were my player, I'd be like, yeah, he went home to take some care of some family stuff. That's all you need to know,
Yeah, 100%.
Really.
So, let's get our last pick in real quick, right? Louisville versus NC State. NC State's at home. Louisville favored by 3.5. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Louisville.
I'm taking NC State.
I'm not crazy about that game either.
Say again, Rick?
I'm not crazy about that game either.
Me neither. I feel like this is going to be a tight one. I like NC State this year. Not as good as I thought they were going to be, but at the same time, I think they can get this. I understand this. I do understand the spread. They are home for me, so I just think that I feel like they're a better team in general anyway.
You like their quarterback? He's a lefty. It looks funny, but I like it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, I think that I do like this this matchup though. I do.
I think it could be a high scoring game. I think it should be fun to watch.
Correct. Yeah. So the only team that NC State lost to was Notre Dame. So they haven't really played anybody though. So this probably be their second best team. But I mean, I like NC State a little bit. I do like their quarterback, like you said. So I'm gonna take NC State, and you're taking Louisville. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 different games. So it's gonna be an interesting week.
It will be
for sure.
It will be.
Well, Ray, you got a rant real quick?
You know what? I don't really have anything that I've brought up too much. Just that. I don't. What do I want to say here? I think that the season has been moving on very quickly. I think that we've already played 3 NFL games. I honestly think that Mike McDaniel, the Miami Dolphins coach, deserves a little credit for not scoring 90 points when he absolutely could have. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
he could have scored.
Yeah.
He tried to run the ball in the second half.
He should have.
He did. He can't help it. The guys run for 30-yard touchdowns, man. It was ridiculous. He
That
was trying to kill the clock, and they were still scoring touchdowns.
That dude quick.
Dude, like, it's crazy. Miami has 6 players on offense that run 4.4 or faster. 6.
Yeah, no. I don't know. When I got H-Chain, I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
They tried to run the ball.
It's already crazy.
They figured,
let's
get A-Chain in there. Haven't really used him yet. Gone. Let's try it again. Gone. That was just, it was crazy, man. It was, I swear to Jerome, I went into the bathroom when by the time I came out, it was 14 open.
I wondered I wanted to know how you felt as a fan to watch something like that. Like, what was the feeling behind that? Like, I know it's exciting, but like, is it like you just saying like a loss for words? Like, what?
Here's the thing about it. For one, no one will admit it, dude. But two went out there thinking, Sean Payton said I wasn't too good 2 years ago. Remember that? Sean Payton didn't want to be the coach of the Miami Dolphins 2 years ago. Remember that? And then apparently the Broncos just gave up, man.
Yeah. I thought you were going to talk about the Broncos not wanting Michael Daniels too, because that was a storyline in that too.
Well, no, I think that Mike McDaniels is a Colorado guy. And that would have been his first choice.
Yeah.
If you would have told him,
he had an interview with them, and then they cut it off.
Right.
So that's another storyline in there.
No, you know what? I think Mike McDaniels is probably happy that happened now, because where'd you rather live, Miami or Denver?
Yeah, but listen, like for him to have that restraint and not get those extra 3 points to make the history.
Jerome, I'm going to be honest.
Dude,
they could have scored 80 points with no problem if they really wanted to. Yeah. They were running. They took out all their starters in the middle of the third quarter,
and their backers was a little.
I mean, and I felt bad for Joseph, the Denver defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
I think the guy's a decent coach, but my God, dude, man, they gave up.
I don't know about you. If I was the coach on Denver, I think I would have had a brain aneurysm on the spot.
Dude, I don't know. How do you handle what do you do after 70 to 20?
What do you say?
Honestly, Jerome, you know what I would say if I were the coach? Guys, we're going to break down the game film, and we're going to see a lot of bad game film. We're going to do that Tuesday, and by Wednesday, we're going to forget all about it.
Yep.
All you can do.
Yep.
All you can do.
Honestly, I probably wouldn't even look at that. I probably wouldn't look at that at all. I'll just be like, all right, next on to the next. It's not. I don't think there's a teaching point in that.
Well, honestly. I agree with that, except for one thing. When A-Chain broke his first touchdown run, he gets past the initial guy, and then the other guy just moved out of his way, dude.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, Jerome, the coaches need to take some of the blame for this too. I may cut that guy. I don't know how good he is, or I don't remember who it was. It was a safety, and he literally just
gave up.
He just gave up. Like, he grabbed me and then just gave up.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I? It was like one of them, like, wow. Here's the other thing people don't understand about A-Chain. He's a small guy, dude, but he's not weak.
He's not.
He's got good lower body, dude.
He was like him. He was one of my favorite running backs in this draft.
Dude, the kid is 4'3", 240, man.
That's That's insane. I will say this before we get off. The whole thing with Sean Payton and everybody was like, he's being a sourpuss because they lost. First of all, you lost by 70. Like, you have a right to be a sourpuss. But I, being a fellow media member myself, the question that member asked was completely stupid. And I don't say stuff like this all the time. That question was stupid. He literally just got done talking about his feelings on the game. Sean Payton was very honest and very humble, said that was very embarrassing. Then you come around and say, well, Sean, I know you just said that was embarrassing, but you guys lost by 70. What's your feelings on the game?
I just told you I was embarrassed by it.
That's literally what he said. He was like, dude, I just answered that question. Like, what is your question? Like, I would have been the same exact way that Sean Payton. So anybody talking about Sean Payton, talking about that part in his press conference, it shouldn't be blown out of proportions at all, because I would have literally felt the same exact way. That was as a media member myself, that was such a dumb follow-up question. I just asked the same question the guy before you asked. Literally.
You know what the problem with the media people are when it pertains to sports in general, but especially football? For one, everybody thinks they know. They all think because they watch a football game, they know now. Okay, yeah. And I hate saying that because I don't want to badmouth anybody. And they just think like, how do I say this? The media guys talk down to the fans. The coaches talk down to them. And then the media will get mad at the coaches. And then honestly, the problem with the media is half of them are only covering football because there's big money in it. That's all. The only reason they're doing it. Yeah. They're reporters that really don't know nothing about football. They watch a game and now they know football.
Yeah.
But no, they don't really know nothing about football. What they know is, oh, if I go and cover this team, I'll make more money. That's what I care about. So
it literally makes no sense with that question. Literally made no sense. Like when I heard, because it was funny, I heard the reaction first of Sean Payton, and I was just like, oh, he just mad because the game, whatever. He's just being a sourpuss. When I heard what the media members said, I was like,
was it a man or a woman? Not that matters.
It was a guy.
You know what I would have said to him? I'd have been like, dude, you ever been kicked in the nuts? Feels like that. I mean,
here, let me demonstrate my pain right now.
Rome, you've been in lopsided scores before, football, whatever other sports you've been playing. So it's the freaking worst. Imagine watching the team score 70 points, man.
Dude, I don't think I can. Defense too, so that
I mean, 70 points.
Trust me.
I mean, we see like Buffalo won, I think 37-10 or something, 37-7 or something like that. And that was really hard to watch. Imagine watching the team score 70 points, man. Like
without their other Ferrari car.
Without it's like I heard a guy say the other day, you know what? It's like Miami Dolphins have a Lamborghini and a Ferrari. And we're going to leave the Lamby in the garage this week. We'll just bring out the Ferrari this week. And it's not only just Tyreek Hill and Waddle. It's Mostert. It's A-Chain. It's Ahmed. It's Robbie Chosen Anderson. I mean, dude, there's just speed everywhere.
I forgot I had him until he got that touchdown, to be honest.
And this is not a criticism of the Eagles because they've been starting out slow. So one negative about them, they've been starting out slow. Don't start out slow when you play against Miami, man. I wouldn't do that. I probably wouldn't do that. Now, your defense is good, and it's not going to give up.
Yeah.
They're not. Like, the Eagles' defense is very good, dude. Like, I'm not trying to – I just think, like –
I don't know where we're going to do against you guys. I'm just going to be honest.
We're going to find out.
I have no idea. We got a month to figure it out, but I have no idea how we're gonna stop you guys. I literally picked you guys to win the Super Bowl this year. So,
wow, I would love to see that. We'll see though. Let me ask you this question: when do they have the pen relays? Isn't that like March usually?
What is it?
The pen relays.
The Penn Relays?
Yeah, they have them down University of Penn every year, right? You've never been to them?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I have one time. I went with Ryan. We went. It's pretty cool. I think it's in March. I think they should have it on November 22nd, because maybe Miami can win that too.
All right, that's gonna do it for us today, guys. Thank you for checking us out, man. Love talking to you, Ray. Love talking to you.
Yeah.
Big Miami fan.
I
But yeah, that's gonna do it for us today, guys. I hope y'all enjoy. We got a little good week to talk about some great stuff. Ran a little long this week, but it was a good week. So hey, we had to talk about it. But thank you guys for getting on with us, man. We always enjoy this. Make sure you go on our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Follow us on there. We got some great content on there, highlights, player interviews, all that good stuff, stuff. Definitely, if you love football, you love any type of football, we got college, high school, and pro football on lock. So we cover all of them. So make sure you go check that out. We got the Air It Out podcast is usually Saturday morning. So go make sure you check that out as well. YouTube, and make sure you like and subscribe. Really does help us out. And also, you get to see all our podcasts and know when we go live. RPO College Football Podcast is usually on Wednesdays. We got the Air It Out podcast usually on Saturdays now. So go make sure you go check that out with us as well. So I'm Jerome Jones. That's Ray Roberts. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. And we see you on the next one. Peace.